Congratulations.
So. No, thank you.
The Mayo era begins with a win.
Yeah, I was pretty pumped for the guys. It's really not about me. I told them at the end of the game, I'm only as good as those guys are, and they went out there and executed. And all the praise and all that stuff goes to those guys. And for me, it's about changing the page and getting ready for Seattle.
I feel like I owe you a bit of an apology.
You don't owe me. If you guys say like I don't listen to any seriously, I do not. I'm in a bubble.
Yeah.
I don't listen to anything good or bad as far as the media is concerned.
I was mocking you on the virtual sprints.
It's fine.
It seems like the coaching style. The guys love it.
No,
it seems like...
for me, it's okay. I'm going to do it my way. And I feel like at some point in time, I have to trust that I have the right staff around the players, and those guys are going to go out and perform, and they did. So I'm excited for them. Once again, I'm good. This is what I tell people all the time. I try to be very truthful because I was a top 10 pick in 2008, so I'm okay.
Are you planning on saying something before every game to Jacoby Brissett that makes him cry?
I always I feel like someone who has the ball in his hands every play. I need to make sure we're on the same page. And he went out there and displayed a lot of things. He's a tough guy. There's a tough guy that it really doesn't matter. And I talk about pulling the nose up on the plane, and he did that a few times, and actually made some plays with his legs, which is surprising. He's probably the slowest black quarterback in the league. No. Look at Stacey. It'd
be tough to find one slower than him. It'd be tough to find one. But Jerod, this is an interesting point because you talked about for the players, right?
And I thought you meant being slow.
No. When did you realize, or when did you because it's all about buying in to what the coach is trying to put out there, buying into the culture. When did you realize that this team was buying in to what you were saying?
It's hard to really pinpoint when that moment happened. We give these guys targets every week, and as a coaching staff, we try to say, look, if we get these 3 things done, we'll be okay. What I will say, look, it's one game, and so I'm not saying to pump the brakes, I am saying to pump the brakes. It's one game, and until we continue to win and continue to go out there and play football the way that we know how to play football, we'll see what happens.
You talked a lot in training camp about specifically being able to run the ball and control the line of scrimmage.
I said it before this game, and I tell the players, I don't care if you feel like I'm giving out game plan secrets or anything like that. I really don't. I'm telling you, we're gonna run the ball. You got to stop us at some point in time. You got to stop us. And I tell the players too, if you want to go out there and talk noise and say how great you are, I'm good with that. But you better be ready to go out there and prove it each and every week. And I think the guys buy into that.
Yeah. And we had Boomer Esiason was just on with us.
Love Boomer.
And Boomer was talking about Ramondre Stevenson, running the ball 25 times. Can he do that all season long if that's what this team is going to be?
One thing I'll say about Ramondre, and I've told him this, so when you guys talk to him, you should ask him, but I think he's one of the best backs in the league. I just don't think he gets the appreciation. I don't think he gets the hype of some of these other backs. He's one of these guys that always falls forward for 4 or 5 yards, and at the end of the game there, he was a little bit tired and he wanted to stay in the game, and I was just like, this is the start of something special going forward.
Even though you're in your own bubble, though, there was a narrative about this team heading into the season, whether it was local media, national media, fans. So how do you make sure that your team doesn't read into that and get in over their head? Because I think that this was a statement win for a lot of the guys to kind of shut people up. And correct me if I'm wrong, but whether it was the offensive line, the offense, or what is the defense going to look like without Matt Judon, it seemed like this was starting things off on the right foot to tell people to relax a bit.
No, that's a great question. I would say they definitely hear everything that you guys say, and so as the head coach, I always try to tell them, don't pay attention to it, but whether it's social media or the radio or newspaper, they definitely hear it. But we all have a chip on our shoulder. We all have it. I mean, you don't have to know what it is, but we all have a chip on our shoulder from whether it's childhood or adulthood. And those guys just went out and played hard. They went out, and so now the challenge or the opportunity for me is to, instill a sense of urgency with these guys, and if we got to learn how to win. We got to learn how to win, and we won one game, and that's what it is. It's one game, and I think that's a huge part of it.
Jerod, you said at the beginning of this how proud you were. You were happy about the players, but was totally apparent to everybody watching how happy they were for you. It's not every day you see a Gatorade bath.
It was early,
but
I was still a couple minutes left.
Week 1 Gatorade.
I had a lot of faith in Ramondre. No,
left me sticky.
No, but I mean that had to be satisfying and a real memorable moment for you as a head coach.
No, absolutely. Going to the game, I felt pretty good. I felt normal, I guess that's the way to say it. But at the end of the game, that's when it really hit me. At the end of the game, it didn't hit me at the beginning of the game, middle. It didn't hit me, 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. It hit me when those guys continued to run the ball and run out the clock, and that's when I was like, all right, we're going to build something. We got to build off of this.
Offensive line only allowed 1 sack.
I've told you guys the entire time, and I've told the media, we've overblown the deficiencies that we have at offensive line. Every single preseason game, turn on the tape. This is what I always say, turn on the tape. Every single preseason game, I would say we dominated the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively. Now, there were some things. There was the one practice versus Philly where everyone kind of blew it out of proportion, but I have nothing but total faith in Scott Peters, AVP, Kugler, Mike, all those guys to get those guys ready to go, and we don't hear it. We don't hear it.
Now, is there any chance with the offensive line playing as well as they played that we'll start to see maybe some Drake May packages? Because when you think about running
He's the number one Drake May advocate over here.
When you think about running the football,
Come on, Wiggy. We won the game.
Right, but when you think about running the
come
football,
on, Wiggy. Hey, it's about Jacoby.
That RPO looks good.
Wiggy, it's about Jacoby.
Yeah, no.
Just asking the question.
It's about Jacoby, and I would also say, look, Jacoby. How many plays did he make yesterday with his legs? And from a defensive perspective, you don't really expect that. And then when he does it, he does it. He did a good job. Jacoby did a good job controlling the game, not making mistakes. We won the turnover battle. We won the hit and yardage battle. And that's what I'm talking about.
Jacoby was behind
Second
Ramondre
second
when it
rusher.
comes to that. Does that worry you that it's those two, that it's your quarterback and one guy that's getting all those yards for the team?
Not at all.
Okay.
For me, Ramondre is one of those guys that you can give him the ball 20, 25 times, 20, 25 times a game, and he'll get you 4.5, 5 yards a carry. And, the guys behind him, Gibby and Hasty, those guys, they also have a skill set that's pretty good for our offense.
What about the operation, Jerod? So even teams that are talented, that have coaches that have been there for a while, when they change both coordinators, it's a learning curve. Well, yesterday, your first game as a head coach in the regular season, DeMarcus Covington's first game as a defensive coordinator, Alex Van Pelt, first time working with you guys as the offensive play caller. How'd you think the operation went?
I thought it went well, and we ironed out all the problems during the preseason. After every single game, I would ask for feedback, like how can we do this better?
Wiggy has some ideas.
No, I'm sure. Look, like I said, it's one game, and I've always said that the team you see today won't be the team you see tomorrow. And so that's our mentality. And, we have a North Star, we have a red star all over the building where that is winning, but at the same time, it's getting better each and every week, and that's what I expect from the guys.
We are at Gillette Stadium with Jerod Mayo.
We are at Gillette.
And the Hellman's Mayo question of the week. By the way, you can purchase Hellman's at your local Walmart or grocery store to add extra deliciousness and creamy flavor to your game day dishes this football season.
Yum.
Creamy.
Yes. Always.
Maybe rather than Gatorade. When it's a win, it ought to be Mayo.
A Mayo bath.
What about the Mayo bath?
As long as we win, I don't care what it is. I genuinely was. I was surprised by the Gatorade bath.
You were?
Yeah, I was. It was pretty cool, though. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I'll say. I thought you guys did a really good job defensively, especially that front. when you look at what Keon White was able to do. You always talk about, anybody who's played the game knows the game starts in the trenches. When you look at what your defensive front was able to do pretty much all game long to Joe Burrow, an elite quarterback, and just making him feel and look uncomfortable back there, what was some of the stuff that you saw from your D-line?
I saw those guys just hustling, and a lot of those sacks, once again, the pass rush has to marry up with the back end. And so I thought Keon had a great game. I thought, let's rewind and go to the run game.
Mm-hmm.
DG and Farms, all of those guys did a great job in the run game to get them into passing situations, and I would say they went out there and played well. They hustled, and this is why I always preach, let's run to the ball, because when you run to the ball, like, things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Things happen in this game, and I thought they did a good job. And we've had great defenses here in this organization where you haven't had that premier rusher. And we were able to still get pressure through, like, stunts and different games that we run up front. And those guys did a good job yesterday. In saying that, when you watch the film, there's still so much room to improve. There's so much room to improve. And, one thing I will say about the game, I was so proud of the guys. I always talk about pulling the nose up, right? And so when the plane's going down, be ready to pull the nose up. In the third quarter, it got a little shaky there. And I'm sure all you guys here sitting around me probably were like, oh, no. Hey, but they were able to pull the nose up, and it was good. It was good for the team.
Cardona getting that fumble.
Joe Cardona.
Yeah, to have a vet like that on your team, though, I mean, how happy were you that he was
a vet
able?
military-wise
Right.
or football-wise?
Well, both.
Yeah,
I mean, both.
First time a long snapper has created a fumble.
Look, Joe's a good athlete. He was voted a captain by his peers, and we told him just go to the ball, and to cause a turnover like that, I was just pumped for him.
Looking ahead and this week, what are the things that you're going to go in and say we got to work on?
First, I do think it's important that the guys know, when we hit our targets, like, we have a very good chance to win the game. And so before we change the page, that's what I want to talk about. And then after that, there were so many plays out there that we just kind of left out there, and I want to show them that, like, even though we walk away with a win, there are so many opportunities for us to be a better football team, and that's my message to the team.
We saw that Robert Kraft gave you the game ball after. Must have been a nice moment for you. Did you happen to hear from your predecessor? Congratulations on the first win.
I'm not going to get into that, but what I will say is this: it was very special, for me to, get the game ball from Mr. Kraft, and I was so thankful just for the opportunity, not only for me but also for Elliott. And so I actually gave a ball to Elliott, because we work in tandem. But what I will say is, it was just such a special moment. It's probably it was 20 plus years that it's been a different coach in there, and it was good. It was good.
So some of those targets.
You're gonna make me cry.
Don't worry about it. Hey, we know that guys can cry now.
Men don't cry.
Some of those targets, would that be, holding your opponent to 100 yards rushing, your third down proficiency on defense was you kept them on the 45%?
We'll always have a good run defense.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that. And when I talk to you guys, look, I'm talking to the players. They listen to this stuff. Like, earlier what I said was, they, Instagram, whatever it is, they listen to it. So here you go, guys. We'll always be a good run defense, no matter what. And our job defensively is to, make the other team one-dimensional, and that's what happened yesterday. Go ahead, finish your question. Wiggy, you want to say something? Go ahead, Wiggy. Go ahead, Wiggy.
No, I just, I love to kind of give people a look behind the curtain a little bit. So,
and you do a great job.
Some of those things, and then obviously,
where is the curtain?
Yes, we pulled it back right now. The Monday morning meeting, I bet it was probably guys were pretty happy to be involved in that, and just talking about some of. I know it's difficult to really say some of the things that we try to set goals for. But it looks like you're able to do defensively and offensively. I don't know if it's a $125 that you're looking to do, rushing the ball on offense. But
I said, I think it was Wednesday. I said we're going to run the ball. It's not a secret. Once again, I think sometimes it gets overblown. Oh, they know the scheme. They know what you're trying. Look, we're gonna run the ball all year. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Here you go. We're gonna everything that we do is just listen. So I never have to answer this again. We will always offensively be a run first team, and you got to stop it. And if you do, then we have other answers after that. It's not a secret. And I would say, it comes down to everyone gets so tied up into the X's and O's. No, it's about beating the man across from you. It's about execution. It's about being tougher than that guy. It's about playing with better fundamentals than that guy. It's about moving bodies, as you know, right? You move bodies.
Well,
back
I don't
in the
know.
day.
I mean,
You had good hands. You
Just
didn't
let
block.
me
You
catch
didn't
the
really-
football. I left moving bodies to Rod Rutledge and some of those offensive linemen.
Just has hands. They're very good. But, Jerod, we've been talking all day about, Jacoby Brissett's start, how that sort of adds to the runway to sort of get the season underway and see where you guys are. The plan, I know you're not going to pull the curtain back on that completely, but are there revisions? Have there been revisions to the plan with Drake May? Where are there things that could happen between now and week 5 that would change it, or is the plan just no matter what happens on the field, you're going to stick with what you and Elliott have put together?
As a coaching staff, as an organization, we're 100% behind Jacoby. I just read that off this paper.
I like it.
Hey, we're 100% behind Jacoby, and we have a developmental plan for Drake. I mean, it's not for you guys to know what the developmental plan is, but we're developing him as well as getting Jacoby ready to go out there and be our starting quarterback and win games. I'm not sure what else I can say about that.
No, and is a part of that being, a former player, and you brought him in here and told him, hey, this is your job, so you want to honor that?
No, that's not how it worked out. It worked because I preach competition all the time, and Jacoby won the competition, and he won the game yesterday. The team won the game yesterday. The guys are behind him. Like we're moving forward, and we're getting ready for Seattle.
And is Drake on the same page when it
Drake's
comes to
on
that?
the same page.
He understands.
I had an individual conversation with Drake. I had an individual conversation with Jacoby. I had a conversation with the two of them together, and I also had a conversation with the team. And we're all on the same page, very transparent. I believe, coaches should be transparent because we've all had coaches that weren't.
Oh, believe that.
And it kind of makes you upset. And so for me, I'm always going to be honest, and I tell the coaching staff our job is to put a mirror in front of the guys and show them what it really is so they can become the player that they want to be. And your family, you did a great job. Like, Mom, no, I didn't. Everyone around you is always going to talk about, how good you did. And when you come in this building, like, we have to be very honest with each other, have honest conversations.
Do you find that being the thing? Because that is the biggest thing for athletes, especially football players in the NFL, is a coach that can be 100% transparent, and just say, hey, give it to me straight. I'm a man. I'll take it whatever way it is. Do you feel like that's part of, because we hear the players talk about the vibe is different. Do you feel like that's a big message for you, is giving it to these guys because you're a former player, the way, no sugarcoating it, so they can feel like he's keeping it real?
I do. And this is a relationship business.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't tell you the truth and what it really is, then we're going to have a problem. Like, we're always going to, it may not be a problem today, it may not be a problem tomorrow, but at some point in time, it's going to be a problem. But if I always tell you the truth, I don't have to remember, hey, what's the last thing I told you? and so,
100%.
and once again, I don't want to, it's a great win for the team. At the same time, we have so much to work on.
How much stock do you put in that it was a road win, the first one? And will the vibe be different now that you have a home game ahead of you?
Not really. We talk about, if we don't create our identity, someone will create it for us. You guys here on TV and podcasts and radio. And so we talked about, being able to play on the road, and now we're going to talk about protecting our house. And hopefully, here's a message for the fans. Come out and be loud when our defense is out there, but don't be loud when our offense is out there. But, I do think that's part of it.
I know you guys were flying back, but did you catch any of your old teammates' debut on Fox yesterday?
I did not. I heard a little bit. What I will say, one thing about TV 12 is that he's not a repeat error type of guy, or he's not he'll get better each and every time. And so I heard some of the stuff, but not a lot. But I have nothing but 100% faith in him. He'll be a great one.
Yeah.
A
All
great one again.
Yeah.
A double goat. A double goat.
A
Two
double
goat.
goat.
Is it one goat body and 2 goat heads? How does that work?
I think so. I think that.
Well, listen, congratulations. Off to a good start here, and turn the page and get ready for Seattle.
You got
Yeah.
talking a lot of noise about me next time I'm coming
We're
here.
gonna- it's
Now,
all gonna be
who knows?
positive.
We'll
It's
just keep
all-
winning. We'll just keep winning.
Listen, I'm happy to apologize.
No, you don't have to apologize.
I didn't the virtual sprints reps thing. I wasn't
Virtual
it's-
sprints. You're not doing virtual sprints.
all right, now we're doing fat jokes.
No,
I mean,
no,
what-
I don't. No, I'm not doing fat jokes. I just said you don't do virtual sprints.
Yeah, no, you got me. You got me. All right, we got to get you. What do we have to do? We have to get you a discount on a new Range Rover
New Range Rover and
anything-
more mayonnaise.
and more mayonnaise.
More
And you
mayonnaise.
got to pick your walk-up song.
I know. I mean,
Still working on that.
I'm still. I don't have the time to think about it. Why don't you
Yeah.
guys put something out on social media and
Oh, and
figure
say
it
what
Ooh,
it
to
should
pick
be.
his-
yeah, what it
Yeah.
should be, and
All
then
right.
we vote on it.
I would
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Do you
you're-
like Chapel Roan?
Chapel Roan.
That's Greg's
Who are
pink
you?
pony.
Who are you? Like, who's
Play
your-
it. How old are you?
Yeah.
I act like I'm.
No, how
27.
old are you?
I'm 57.
Ooh. I don't
When
know.
did this turn into?
No,
a thing
no,
about
I'm
me,
saying it's
Gerard?
just different. It's a
Well,
different. A Chapel. What is Chapel Roan?
Chapel Roan's for the Gen Zers right now, but Greg is using that to relate to the younger
yeah, I
folk.
try, I was
Who
trying-
do you
I'm
like? Who
I'm
are your top 3 artists?
he
Mine-
likes
mine of-
Hanson.
No,
all
no,
time.
no, no. Top 3 artists.
Bruce Springsteen,
Ooh,
Tom Petty,
Tom Petty.
and probably the Foo Fighters.
I would not pick you out to be a Foo Fighter
See,
fan, but we'll take it.
we often.
Now watch this, Wiggy. Your top 3, go.
Biggie.
Biggie.
I would say.
LFO.
No, I would say Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay.
And
Blues Traveler.
No, and I'd probably
Michael
go.
Jackson, you love Michael
I
Jackson.
do like Michael Jackson.
Just the singer.
I would probably go Teddy Pendergrass.
Very minimal in your diversity of music taste.
Yeah. It's,
You gotta.
I love
branch out.
Journey too. I
Branch
love
out.
Motley Crue.
You are not very diverse.
No,
when
I
it
know.
comes to
It's
music.
crazy.
But he said my top 3.
It's
Though.
I know,
crazy.
but, yeah.
He
Right.
needs to be more diverse.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
reminds me of when Belichick did this with us last year.
Well, you're a VA guy, so I'm surprised you ain't had like the clips on there. Who's your top 3?
The Cribs, yeah, they from the crib.
Yeah. So who your top 3?
Tell us your top 3, and then we'll put a bunch of songs.
I'm
in.
gonna go.
Taylor Swift.
No, no, I'm
No,
not doing Taylor Swift.
Oh, we have to
hoping.
ask about Shime also.
Who?
Oh,
You know how we were talking to you about Taylor Swift designing a play?
Yeah,
Our guy Shime, big PFF guy back in
Yeah.
the studio, wants to design a play.
fantastic. We'll
Sean?
run it. No,
Shime,
if it's not a run play, I don't want to see it.
Shime, what do you
Ooh,
think?
okay, so I got to come up with a good run play. You got
Hey,
it.
no,
Okay.
hold on. All right, I'm gonna go Biggie.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Jay-Z.
Yep.
Some of these new guys are pretty. I mean,
all right.
These groups.
I'm-
I'll go Migos. 'Cause
Migos.
That's what gives
You-
me.
and you know what?
Hey, you know what?
I like
I'm not
Migos.
diverse. I'm not
I
diverse.
thought I was gonna say you're not very
I
diverse either.
No.
I mean-
I'm a you know what? I'm an Elton John fan. You want me to tell you
All right.
Elton
I
John
like
story?
Journey.
Hey, so one time, I met Elton John. We went to this private concert. I was out there with Kraft, and he's up there on the piano. It's first time for me hearing Elton John, and he's killing it. Boom, 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 boom. On the piano and stuff. And then we go backstage, and we're talking, we're chatting it up. And we're literally in the middle of the conversation, and like 3 people come around him. He has this velour suit on. 3 people come around him, and they just pull up like a curtain. And we're still having a conversation.
And he starts
and he changes. Right there. He changed.
Oh, he got
right
a
there.
dress right
and
there.
then the curtain went down. I was
Well,
like, wow,
didn't
he's a
he-
boss.
Didn't
Elton
he
John.
pee in the water bottle?
He did do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
At
he
a
did.
store,
Yeah, he
so-
did do that. at
When
a
you're
store,
that talented, you
right?
can do whatever
You
you
can
want.
do whatever you want. Do whatever you want.
Got
All
major
right.
street cred.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
thanks for taking the
No,
time this
appreciate
morning.
it.
We appreciate it.
All good.
All right,
Congrats.
there he
Appreciate you
is,
guys.
head
All right.
coach of the New England Patriots, Jerod Mayo. It's a Patriots Monday, and we will be right back.